Hi guys, what is up and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing this beautiful blonde balayage on my client here. As you can see, it is super blended, super beautiful, and I'm so excited to show you guys. So if you're interested on seeing how I do this look in the salon, just keep on watching. So this is our starting canvas. She did go back to dark a couple months ago, but here we are wanting to take a step into the more blonde direction. So I am using Schwarzkopf Blonde Me. I always use this for my balayage FOILYAGE clients because I feel like it gets the best lift. So I'm using a combination of 7 volume and 20 volume to kind of get 15 volume, mostly because she has some color on her hair. Otherwise I would use 7 volume to start and transition to 20. So my sectioning patterns are honestly really simple for my FOILYAGE. I literally just section off the front in 2 sections and then I start on the back. I start horizontally on the back and I go up as far as I can and then I'll split it in half. But like you see here, I am weaving and then I am teasing it a couple times. And then I'm using a balayage board. This gives you the best blend in the world. If you've never tried a balayage board, I totally recommend it. They are amazing. So you kind of saw me blending up at the top there, and then I'm going all the way through on the ends and I am placing another foil right on top of that. Usually I can go up 3 or 4 foils depending on how wide the nape of their neck is. And as you can see, I am going up horizontally still. Eventually I will split it into half once the hairs don't fit in the foil. You really want to feather up at that top by the tease, that way you get the best blend possible. So here I am splitting the sections into 2. I think I was able to get 3 foils, there might be 4. As you can see here, I go horizontally, but I do a slight diagonal. It's kind of hard to tell because her hair is dark, but there is a slight diagonal, and as I get up further on the head, it will diagonal a little bit more, but her hair is kind of dark, so that might be hard to see. But here you can really see my feathering technique. I really want to make sure that line is diffused, but also teasing it 2 to 3 times will really help give that diffused look. My sections are super fine. It's almost kind of like a baby light that gives you the really blended look at the root. So you do want it to be pretty fine, but also not fine enough where they're gonna disappear with the dimension. The hair that you do leave out is what is going to be dimensional. So if they want more dimension, you're gonna wanna leave more hair out. She did want her ends to be mostly blonde, which is why I'm doing a lot of foils. But if she wanted this to be really, really natural, I would do less foils. Wherever I go. And to be honest, I prefer my foils stacked on top of each other and not folded like this. I was gonna tease out her ends, but I ended up just really not liking folding the foils. So I'm just working my way up the top. I'm really teasing those sections. She did have a lot of baby hairs, so that will help me get a really diffused line, but a lot of people don't, so you're gonna have to start at the bottom and tease up to get that diffused balayage look. So as you can see up towards the top, I'm taking finer sections. I wanted some pieces in there to look more like highlights, but use your best judgment to know what is right for your client and what they want. Obviously, I've done this on enough people where I can kind of customize it to what they're wanting. At this point, I am taking what I left out, I'm weaving that, teasing that a lot, and I'm going to tip out her ends. If you don't tease this section enough, you are going to see a straight line, so you really want to over tease. When you think you've teased enough, tease a couple more times. I've definitely learned that the hard way. I don't think I'm gonna go to LA anymore. I don't think I'm gonna go to LA anymore. I'm not sure that I really ever could. Hold on to your hotel key, your bedroom neighborhood. Okay, so at this point I have done the other side, and now I'm working on that top triangle at the top of the head. This is going to be what lays over all the rest of the hair, so this part is really important. Sometimes I like to do tiny weaves, and sometimes I like to do bigger weaves. That will be the difference between super blended and like ribbons, so it's really up to what your client wants. But here we wanted it pretty diffused just because she's like a natural level 6, so we wanted it pretty diffused. That way it grows out really nicely. And as you can see, I tipped out these ends too, just so it's really bright on the top. So now I'm starting on the front, and first I'm going around the hairline. I'm just taking some weaves and I'm going to be feathering it up pretty close to her root just because I know I'm going to shadow it later. And I want it to highlight her face a lot, especially when she pulls her hair back. I'm not teasing it, but it's a really thin section, so they're almost like baby lights. And I'm gonna do a couple of those. And then right now I am pulling out her money pieces. I usually ask the client how thick they want it and then go from there. As you can see, I'm going a little bit of a diagonal still as we go up, and still really fine baby lights and teasing these sections. Pretty much the same thing all the way up the head and on the other side as well. Now I'm doing the same exact thing on the other side, the bright face frame, and going all the way up, weaving and teasing those sections. Here you'll see me do the money piece, and I actually have a video on how I do my money pieces, so I will go ahead and leave that down below. Whatever I do, I wonder where I am in my relationship to you. So now I am just pulling her foils. As you can see, she lifted to a level 9-10 blonde, and I'm actually combing out the tease right here. I like to use Wella post color treatment, and that really helps soften the hair before you comb out the tease. So now I am doing her root melt. I always root melt my foliage clients, no matter if the blend looks good already or not. I am root melting with 6N, 6NB, Redken Shades EQ, and this is a really pretty ashy, but still fills a little bit because the NB has red in it. When you're putting a level 6 on level 9 highlights, you need something with color, that way it doesn't turn green and doesn't look super dull. I prefer to use a wet brush when I'm root melting to comb everything through, because I really do want it to look melted and I want it to be really seamless. If I was doing something like a root shadow, I might just switch over to a comb because you don't necessarily want the root to drag down as much. And I did end up rooting her money piece just a tiny bit. That way it has a little bit of a shadow when it grows out and it's not so harsh. Here I am toning her with the 9 GI Redken shades. She did want to be pretty ashy, but I didn't want her to be like silvery, so I added the GI, which has gold in it.
I don't think I'm gonna go to LA anymore. I don't think I'm gonna go to LA anymore. I don't know what it's like to land, not raised to your door. I don't think I'm gonna go to LA anymore.
So this is the final look of this beautiful lived-in blonde. Seriously, this is one of my favorite colors I've ever done. It is so pretty. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.